Welcome to Canine Revolution Radio. Presented by Canine Revolution Dog Training, enhancing the dog and owner relationship through education, balance, and pack instinct.
All right, welcome to another episode of Canine Revolution Radio. Today, I've got myself, I've got Chris, we've got Kevin. We're good to go, boys.
Let's do it.
Today, we're going to be talking about the top 5 dog parks in the Somerville and Charleston, South Carolina Lowcountry area. We're going to be using these dog parks as training opportunities, right? So we're not going to be going into the dog park itself. We're going to be training around the dog park. Use that as a great way for people distraction, dog distraction, as a way for us to increase the engagement and focus we have with our dog, in addition to generalizing our behaviors, such as our obedience behaviors like heeling, downstay, recall, whatever you're doing, and then also socialization, which we talked about in our last episode. So without further ado, let's jump right into it. What? I lost myself.
He pulled a Chris, boys.
I lost myself.
He just pulled a Chris.
Okay, so the best dog parks for training purposes also have, great amounts of room outside of the dog park, in addition to good traffic going in and out of that dog park and good traffic inside of that dog park. Inside the dog park, you're going to see many different dog personalities. They're going to be intermingling. They're going to be fighting. They're going to be getting crazy. People are going to be yelling at their dogs, all that kind of stuff. All great things to be around training. And the more space we have outside the dog park as well is going to be great for building up what we call distance to distraction, or threshold to the distraction, right? So we're going to look at our five top dog parks in the Somerville, Charleston area that have the best environment for training, so that you can build up engagement, socialization, and generalization of your behaviors. Before we go into the list, do you guys have anything to add on top of what we already talked about?
Yeah, good stuff. I mean, if you haven't listened already, listen to our last episode on socialization. We go into detail on why we don't go in the dog parks, forcing interactions, things like that. So just keep in mind, we're not talking about going in the dog park.
Yep, and we were in no way, shape, or form paid to mention these dog parks, all right?
That's true.
So these are just our personal choices.
I mean, unless they want to sponsor us.
Yeah, we can. Top 6 is we can do a top 6.
That's right, we could
squeeze one in, boys.
But all right, again, like Kevin just said, these dog parks are based on our experience as we're training, what we like to do, what we like to be around, based on the areas available around the dog park. All right, so number 5 in the list, we're going to be going backwards down to number 1. Number 5 on the list is the Ackerman Park Dog Park, which is located in West Ashley. This is a great dog park. It's got a pretty good amount of traffic going inside and out of the dog park. There's also big field areas around the dog park. There's also lots of shade there from oak trees. There's a nice parking lot there, which makes it convenient to park, right? They've also got the West Ashley Farmers Market that is held right next to the dog park. So if you go on one of those days, you can double tap your distractions, get in that dog park distraction, and walk through the farmers market. They also have like little league sports that go on in one of the fields over there. So you got plenty of opportunities for distraction there. Sometimes it can be a little bit tricky to locate this park if you're not familiar with West Ashley. And sometimes even if you're using GPS, it'll take you around the long way. So that can be a little bit tricky. But also the dog park doesn't offer a lot of extra amenities other than just, some open space in the dog park itself. They've also got a small skate park right next to the dog park. So more distraction, right? So as far as basics goes, this is a great place. You've got plenty of distance to work on your distance to distraction, your threshold. You've got perfect area to move around dogs that are going in and out of the dog park. And on those days where there's the farmers market, little league sports, and people at the skate park, you've got extra distractions available in addition to the dogs that are there. So that's why it's number 5 on our list, okay? You guys have anything to add on that one?
It's loaded down, man. That is a lot of stuff in one area.
So I would say, if you are going to go there to try to do multiple distractions, we've talked about before, just keep in mind that you're not overdoing it, not stressing out your dog. Every dog's going to be different. Some dogs could handle to go to the skate park, go to the dog park, go to the farmer's market and do that all day long. Some dogs need it in and out kind of session. So just make sure you're assessing those thresholds and treating it accordingly to what your dog's got going on.
Yeah, if you got a quiet day where there's not all those other things, it's a perfect place for a nice low-key distraction area with a focus on dogs. You know what I'm saying? All right, the next one on the list, number 4 on the list, is the James Island County Park Dog Park. It's a pretty nice dog park.
It's Chris's favorite, if I recall correctly.
It's wild there. Watch out now.
It is wild. It's located on James Island, right? The county park offers a wide variety of areas inside the county park here where you can train, you can exercise, you can play with your dog. They got walking trails, they got big open fields, they got bicycle trails, they got the dog park, they got all kinds of stuff
They have a little store area too, don't they, where people are constantly.
Yeah, this is where they do the Festival of Lights, if you guys have ever been.
You can take your dog to that too, The dog park is pretty busy there.
Oh, yeah.
It's kind of crazy going in and out of there, okay? There's lots of dogs and owners. There's a parking area outside the dog park, very busy. Dogs and owners getting in and out of their vehicles, in and out of the park. So it's great for working around that type of scenario where people are getting in and out of their vehicles, dogs are moving in and out of the park, right? So you can work on your engagement with distance to distraction. The parking area is pretty big, and there's a trail that goes along front of that, so you can even work up and down the trail if you need more distance to distraction, okay, to build up your engagement drills as you get closer to the dogs. You can also walk down a trail and it takes you to the back side of the dog park, which is on a small pond, and you'll be across the pond from the dogs, which again gives you even more distance to distraction. If you have a really reactive dog and you need to work on that, it can be a great place to do that. You know what I'm saying? It is very difficult to work near the actual fence line of the dog park here though, because there's a lot of vegetation growth. It's very difficult to work there. The entrance to the dog park is easy to see, easy to access, easy to move around as you're training, but as far as walking up and down a fence line, very, very difficult at this park, okay? So this park, you're gonna focus on entry exit at the gate and distance to distraction and dogs moving in and out of the parking lot, okay? So that's why it's number 4, just because it's hard to work up and down that fence line. But just due to everything else located at this park, it is a great place to go to with your dog to train in general, but also if you're working on dog distractions.
Oh, yeah.
What else you guys got? Chris is our John's Island specialist, so he's right next to James Island all the time. So what do you got to say, Chris?
So I like this park for doing some focus drills because that entryway it's narrow, but there's enough room that you can kind of be out of the way of the foot traffic. Yeah. But I'll do something as simple as just take a dog, downstay, and get them to look at me, and they're just riding out that with that dog distraction walking by. When I'm going, it's probably not even 30 seconds are going by before another dog's coming by. So it's very frequent foot traffic with people, with dogs, and it's a good environment to train that focus, while your dog's in a downstay just looking at you. So it's really good for that. But like you said, as far as, if you're wanting to work on the healing stuff, you can do that in the entryway, but walking up alongside the fence is probably just not going to be doable at this park.
Right. Especially if you go during times when people are not working, most people, like in the late evenings, on the weekends, it's going to be super busy there. Dogs going in and out, so you can use that to your advantage.
When there's a coronavirus going on.
There's going to be people there going crazy, All right, number 3 on our list is the North Charleston Westcott Park Dog Park. Okay, this park is located on Dorchester Road. It's right near the North Charleston-Somerville line, so right at the intersection of North Charleston and Somerville is where this park is located. It does offer a few small walking trails. It also has a few open areas that are great for training, to include a very small turf field. We love that turf field. It's a great place, especially if it's really rainy and muddy. Those other fields will get all muddy and nasty. That turf field stays clean. You keep your dog as clean as possible, right? And it's first come, first serve on that turf field, so nobody can reserve that. So if you show up and you're there with your dog, nobody can tell you to leave, okay? The dog park itself at Westcott Park is located at the very back of the park. It does have a roundabout in front of the dog park entrance, in addition to a large gravel/dirt parking lot next to the dog park. Okay, there's also at this park a big dog and small dog section to the dog park. So people with small dogs, they can go into the small dog section. People with bigger dogs can go into the big dog section, right? The other thing that I like about this dog park is the grassy area with the trees in front of it. Those trees provide nice, amounts of shade. They're also got that circular landscaping around them, so you can work on your healing around the trees while maintaining distance to distraction. You can work in the dirt gravel parking lot prior to even approaching the dog park. They got that field with the volleyball area across from the parking lot. You can go train there and slowly work your way closer to the dog park if you need to. Okay, so that's a great way to work on your distance to distraction. The dog park is fairly busy for the most part. In the evening it's very busy, on the weekends it's very busy, around lunchtime it's busy, sometimes in the morning it's busy. So again, when people are out of work for the most part, they're going to be going there. Okay, most of the dog owners that go to this dog park, they do park in the gravel / dirt lot, and then they'll walk to the large or small dog section entrance, which also allows you to work on dogs passing by, working on your downstay, working on your healing, working on your engagement and focus, right?
Now, that being said, be careful. I've seen a lot of them take their dogs out off the leash.
This is at any dog park.
Well, yeah, but I've seen it at this one more so than any of these probably. So just be mindful of those. Always be on, paying attention, be vigilant.
Yep. People will pull right up, open their door, dog jumps out, dog's going all over the place crazy, and somehow they're able to funnel their dog to the park.
Mm-hmm. And if you are in that field and you're between them and the dog park, what's that dog gonna do? Potentially
could have a dog bum rush you. If it's got issues, it could rush you and create a problem. So make sure you're aware of your environment. If you see that happening, there's plenty of area around there where you can easily go off to the side, get away from them until they move into the dog park. Then you can close your distance to distraction again. So a great opportunity, but that is something to pay attention to. The one thing that I will say is a con for this dog park is its location. Not very convenient for most people. If you're in the Somerville, Westcott area, it's going to be convenient for you. But if you live in Hanahan, it's all the way on the other side of Dorchester Road. You got to cross Goose Creek, North Charlie, you get way over there, So for a lot of people, it's not convenient. But if you're on Old Charlie Road at the upper end of Dorchester Road, it can be pretty convenient for you. You know what I'm saying? What else do you guys have to add about this park?
That's actually one of my favorite parks. I really do enjoy that roundabout, because the whole time you're healing, you can clearly see the point of reactivity. You can back it up, start working on your focus, your engagement building. Again, you got the in and out traffic, you got the dogs inside going crazy. Just really like the little roundabout. And if you have a smaller dog, they have pretty short nature walks, but smaller dogs don't require as much physical stimulation as larger dogs. You could go one lap around that park, and you may have met your dog's needs for the day. You can go work on some focus drill while they're nice and stimulated. They're nice and tired. Get a better, a more positive experience. But I really do enjoy this park.
Yeah, so you can work on it instead of walking in your neighborhood, you can take your dog there. You could do your engagement drills by the dog park, and then you could take a walk like you were saying. That way you're getting both mental and physical work in. Good to go. Just take your normal walk period, go to the park, do that. You know what I'm saying? Chris, you got anything else to add about that park?
So they do also, one thing that I like, I have been there at times when there was no one there. They've got a pretty neat little agility course on the inside too. So, if you're there and there are maybe you go there for dog distractions and there's no dogs, there's still some pretty cool stuff that you can kind of work on, go inside, maybe work on some off-leash work. It's not a insanely huge park like the James Island Park, so it's good for doing that off-leash work. And then if you're interested in getting your dog used to and conditioned to agility equipment, they do have some agility stuff in there.
It's also a kids play area right near the park. That's good for distraction as well. It's usually kids they're screaming, going crazy. That's a good opportunity as well.
If you have kids and dogs are not allowed in the kids playground. But if you got your downstay on point, you can put your dog at a downstay outside the playground, walk in, play with your kid real quick, walk back out. The other thing this park offers is they have nice bathrooms. So if you're looking for
Chad's
a park,
definitely about the bathrooms. He takes a bathroom break every 5 minutes.
I just pick a tree and go, boys. But they do have nice bathrooms, if you need to use the bathroom. One word of caution, though, there's also a lot of snakes in this park. So if you're walking around, be very vigilant, especially during the hot months of the year. Snakes all the time crossing the paths. I've seen them right in front of the dog park before. So just keep your eyes open, be aware of that, be aware of your environment as always, you know. But very good park. You know, we go here a lot. It's one of our go-to parks. We'll take follow-up sessions. We'll do them at this park, you know, take people there because that gravel lot is huge. You know, you got plenty of room to work in. You got the trails, you got the grassy area. There's also those like landscaping slash no traffic poles that block traffic from driving on the grass. And you can work your healing between those poles, weaving in and out, you know, working on that body adherence. So all good things to be working on at that dog park, okay? All right, number 2 on our list, so we're getting up close to number 1. Number 2 on the list is the North Charleston Watermaker County Park, Dog Park, right? That one's a good one. This park, one of the best things about it is it's located pretty conveniently for most people. It's right off of I-26 on University Boulevard near Trident Hospital and Charleston Southern University. You know, so right off the interstate, couple miles, or not even a couple miles,
couple, Waffle House
couple
too,
minutes. Right? It's right next to Waffle House. Across the street is, what's that burger place? Comeback Shack. Good to go.
I mean, I heard about it. I've never been there myself.
It's good to recover after distraction work.
You guys have done that plenty of times.
Oh yeah, just us.
yeah, not Chad at all.
There's also a Sunoco right across the street from the park, which they do carry Bang energy drinks in stock. I wouldn't know, but a source told me, you know. And those body armors, they have those there all the time too.
Speaking my language.
So lots of good things around this park, you know, if you're into other things. Similar to James Island County Park, the park offers a lot of open spaces, huge grass fields. You can do, if you're working on long distance recalls, this is a good place to go to. Huge field, you know. A lot of times people will take their dogs in those fields, so you have more distraction. They've got lots of walking trail space, plenty of walking trails, and they've got more. They've got a playground like Kevin talked about at Westcott. They've got a playground, and they've got a trail that goes through the playground. So if you're working on distractions with children around or people or craziness, chaos.
And this one gets packed.
And this one gets very busy. You can walk right through there. You know, make sure you're being safe. If you have a dog that might react, you need to make sure you're working on your distance to distraction. Make sure you're 100% ready to go. But it does offer that distraction there. They've also got the water fountains where the kids love to play. You know, more distractions.
Geese and ducks.
Geese, ducks, snakes, all kinds of stuff going on. Alligators. Yep. All right, so the dog park itself has a walking trail right in front of the dog park. They've got a parking lot right in front of the dog park, and along the main side of the dog park they have a big grassy field, which is technically like a overflow parking, but there's hardly anybody parked there. So a big grassy field for you to work in training wise, which is a perfect spot. They've got 2 entrances. They've got a front entrance and a back entrance. People go in both entrances. The back entrance is along the field, so you can, you know, interact with people coming in and out of that dog park. Use them for passing distractions, use them for dog pass-bys, work on your engagement, work on your focus. Plenty of space to work on your distance to distraction, your threshold, so that you can over time build up your focus and engagement on you from your dog. So it's a great place to work on everything with your dog, and that's why it ranks number 2 on our list. You know, I think there's a fee to get in there, just like James Island, $2 I think. Not a big deal.
Unless you get the gold pass.
Unless you get the gold pass, it's something per year. And then you pay it and you're good for the entire year. You get a card, you're good to, you wave your card, you're in.
And in fact, you can get in Wanamaker, James Island, all of the
you can get in all the parks,
all of the Charleston County.
Yeah, perfect, you know.
Are we sure y'all weren't paid to put this on?
Charleston County needs to hit us up.
They need to get on us. What else do you guys have to say about this park?
Got the hill, man.
It's got the hill.
Oh, yeah.
Do the recalls
How
up
did
and
we
down the
forget?
hill? Who was that dog? Bailey?
Yeah.
Bailey was recalling up and down that
You
hill.
bring a piece of cardboard, you can slide down that bad boy too.
No, they banned that.
Oh, did they really?
Yeah, it might be the Revolution's fault, but that's not confirmed. But yeah, they stopped people from doing that. But yeah, no, I like the field next to the dog park. This is probably my favorite. I go here a lot with my dog, and when I was going through a lot of his reactivity, with Vader's reactivity. I like the field because it's wide open, and there's like very minimal chance that somebody's going to kind of sneak up on you with their dog or turn a corner, and you know, all of a sudden you got to handle an incident or whatever. You can see, you know, situations coming at you, so you can adjust. But really working that threshold is is great in that field because you have so much room. You can literally work close, and you can almost like see that moment where it's like, okay, too close, this is where my threshold is, right? And then that can apply to other environments with dogs and things like that. So that's this is probably one of my favorite parks to do that kind of work in.
Yeah. Kevin, you got anything? Good to go.
Love it. Love the trails.
Yeah.
Good stuff.
Good place. And, you know, for most people, super convenient.
Yeah.
You know, if you live in Somerville, if you live in North Charleston, it's not that far away from you. It's probably a 20-minute drive for most people, 40 minutes for us. You know, but for most people, it's pretty convenient, all right? All right, then number 1 on our list, if you're ready for it, can you guess? All right, number 1 is the White Point Garden, also known as the Battery, and the East Bay Dog Park, both located downtown Charleston, Chris's favorite place in the whole world, downtown
I didn't have
Charleston.
any input as making this number 1, FYI.
Right on the water though, boys. You can't beat the view.
It's gorgeous. It is gorgeous. It's a beautiful park.
So, you know, I like this area, and it's kind of 2 dog parks combined into 1, but the whole area down here and the route we're going to talk about that we like to take is just bursting with distractions. Great for everything you're working on. However, there's not a lot of room for distance to distraction work. So this is like one of the places you go to when you're pretty much done with distance to distraction. You got good engagement, you got your dog, high level, good to go. This is where you go to, right? So these 2 dog parks, White Point Garden, known as the Battery, and East Bay Dog Park, are very close to each other within walking distance. We like to start at the White Point Garden Battery. We like to park there because it's free parking. And the whole White Point Garden is about 5 acres of grassy open area with plenty of shade from the oak trees there. They got some nice walking trails through the middle of the park. Very busy, you know, lunchtime, after work, during the afternoon. People are always in and out of this park with their dogs and people in general. The only thing about this dog park is the White Point Garden / Battery Dog Park. The whole thing is designated as an off-leash dog park, but there's no fences.
Right.
So there is no fence line that kind of, you know, protects you from the dogs that may be trying to approach you. So you really got to be aware of your environment. You got to be paying attention. You know what I'm saying? You got to make sure you've got 100% control on your dog. Make sure that you got that influence and respect there, which is why we say, you know, you don't go here first. You go here at towards the end of your distraction training.
And you need to be confident too, and
maybe
have been through some scenarios where you've had off-leash dogs approach you, and you know how to handle that scenario. You know, you need to be confident in your abilities to do that.
Yep. Dogs are going to walk up to you, you know. So there's limited space to balance your distance to distraction, meaning that the dogs can get right up to you and your dog, you know, so just make sure you're ready to go. The park is usually busy around lunchtime and in the late afternoon, evening, in addition to the weekends. And then you can literally walk from White Point Garden, the Battery, right down the road, and that's going to be where East Bay Dog Park is, right? You walk down that main road, whatever it is, you turn right, boom, there's the East Bay Dog Park. That's a fenced-in dog park right on the road, which provides you with the ability to work on healing next to it. There's a small parking lot, which you can work on your downstays, you know. But healing is a big deal past the East Bay Dog Park. East Bay Dog Park is very busy with a lot of crazy dogs. I've walked by there many times, and as soon as I walk by that fence, they're right there at the fence trying to go ham on the dog that's with me. You know what I'm saying? So there is a sidewalk across the street from the dog park, which will allow you that distance to distraction if you need to. That street is also a cobblestone street, so a lot of people are not driving up and down that street for the most part.
I don't even like walking down it.
Yeah, walking down it sucks, you know.
I need a new pair of shoes every walk.
But you can work on that healing pass there, you know, back and forth, whatever you're doing. Let's see, plenty of room to train around the dog park. And then also you can walk right down the road from that dog park and hit Waterfront Park, you know. So what we like to do, we like to start at the Battery. We'll park there because it's free parking. Walk down past East Bay Dog Park, walk into Waterfront Park, which there's usually more dogs walking around, lots of people. Walk
You got
up,
the fountains.
got the fountains.
Playing in there.
Yep, you can walk up the market, or you can turn around, head back the way you came, back to the Battery, you know. So you're going to be a great place to work on healing, great place to work on downstays and recalls. Very busy. There's always construction going on. There's always cars moving around, so you got to be careful. There's horse carriages going by.
Yeah, I was going to say, it's probably one of the only locations you can get a horse distraction unless you live out in the country.
Yep, horse distraction. The sidewalks are tiny. So when you're walking up and down the sidewalk, you're going to be passing people whether you want to or not. You know, and you're going to be passing other dogs whether you want to or not. You know what I'm saying? So being aware of your environment's critical. Yeah, get past your comfort zone. And then because it's located downtown Charleston, it's easily accessible by Mount Pleasant, Somerville, North Charleston, Goose Creek, West Ashley, Daniel Island, Johns Island, Chris's favorite, Johns Island, and more. Everywhere in the Charleston area is pretty much the hub, okay? If you like coffee on a patio, or if you like eating on a patio.
You got my attention.
With your dog, there's plenty of places for you to do that. Yep. Downtown Charleston, easily within walking distance, you know? And then just because of the intensity of distractions that are present, we don't recommend that you start your distraction work here. Slowly build it up. This is a great way to proof it, and that's why it's number one on our list. So what do you guys have to say about it?
So with that, you know, we touched on it. First of all, it's a beautiful park, beautiful view, plenty of shade. You know, it's a really good place to go. But on top of that, has nothing to do with dogs, but history. I mean, downtown Charleston's full of history. Yeah. At the park, you're just going to find tons of statues with tons of information, things, you know, you may not have known. That's why I like going to the Yorktown as well and kind of doing that walk, you know, just to be around all that. So you definitely be a tourist in your own hometown and get some distraction work at the same time.
Oh, yeah. And some nice food.
And some food. That's the main thing. Get the food.
Well, distraction work's the main thing, you know.
Yeah.
It's all business related. It's all work related. I got to do it for the dog.
I mean, you have to randomly reinforce yourself.
That's right. That's true. That's true. Especially if I'm going downtown.
Positive reinforcement for you boys. Good to go. Especially if you put in all that good work.
Good stuff.
All right. So kind of to wrap the whole thing up, you know, we went through our 5 top dog parks in the area: Somerville, Charleston, South Carolina, Low Country area for training. Right. Dog parks can afford a great training opportunity for you to train with your dog around the actual park area, around dogs entering and exiting the park. You know, be careful, like we already talked about, because a lot of times at dog parks, people are going to pull up, open their doors, boom, dogs are coming out, dogs are going crazy. They're trying to funnel them into the dog park, and you and your dog are over there. And if you're working through reactivity or aggression or anything like that, you're going to need to distance yourself, work on your distance to distraction, build up your engagement and obedience behaviors until you're ready for that type of intense area, right? Once you begin your training sessions in these areas, and not in just these areas, but anywhere you go, don't allow yourself to get distracted. You know, so don't get distracted and start talking to somebody. Don't get distracted.
What are you pointing at me?
I'm just pointing in general, you know. Kevin is our public affairs specialist.
They talk to me, boys, all right.
But, you know, don't get distracted, because people with dogs, you know, they're like, hey, how's your dog? You know, blah, 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 which is nice. That you're working on this engagement. You're working on whatever you're working on with your dog. That's the focus, right?
Give your dog the attention they need and deserve.
Exactly. Prioritize your goals with your dog. Always keep your training sessions short and fun for you and your dog so that you can accomplish your goals. So don't push your dog to the limit where they're burnt out. It becomes a bad session, anything like that. Keep it short, keep it fun, get your repetitions in, be consistent, have a good time. All right? You guys have anything to close out with? Good to go. All right, we appreciate you guys. Y'all have a great day. See you next time.